So here's a video that Iran made in response to Trump saying, we have not forgotten that you killed our hero, Qasem Soleimani. Watch this video, and then we're going to show you a response from what Trump says to this. Go ahead, Rob. It's actually a very good job.
Great production. Editing. Look at that drone shot.
See the picture.
She caught me Koni.
Ismail Haniyeh.
She caught me Koni. Oh shit! It ducked. Uh-oh. You guys don't want to know what that said. Revenge is definite.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. So how are you processing that?
Right. Then show Trump's reaction to it, and then we'll react to the
Trump
whole
reacted to it. Good.
Yeah, this is Trump's reaction to it. Go ahead.
Everybody in Congress. But if I were the president, I would inform the threatening country, in this case Iran, that if you do anything to harm this person, we are going to blow your largest cities and the country itself to smithereens. We're going to blow it to smithereens. You can't do that. And there would be no more threats. There would be no more threats. But right now, we don't have that leadership or the necessary people, the necessary leaders. We have two people, not one. We don't even know who our president is right now.
Facts.
Who is our president right now?
It's facts.
We really don't know, but we have two people, not one, that only keep looking. And when you do that, when you just look, trouble always ensues. So it's big trouble for our country.
Okay,
meanwhile, we have the president of...
So how do you process that video, Tom?
Well, look, it's basically a video game movie that Iran has made. Revenge is definite. You used to have, a guy in a cave taking a selfie, talking about what would happen. And we would hear on our news that the CIA was trying to determine in the rock formations if they could identify where that was. Remember that? And we're trying to figure it out. And so threats on video have been going from left to right for a long time. And now they've elevated it up to the whole, concept of, a little robot that's going to paint the laser on there. And by the way, that's older technology. Painting the laser is...
Tom, I know what you're saying, and you're downplaying. You do that sometimes, and you downplay stuff. They just threatened to kill a president, Tom. Okay?
No.
Former president. So, Vinny, what is your thoughts when you see something like this?
Great. That's the point. Like Iran is paying attention. Like, think about, you know what that said to me?
Yeah.
That Iran is paying attention to all of the Secret Service gaps in our protection for the president. That video in the bushes, that means they're watching the Ryan Ralph. They know that they can get to him. They know that the perimeter is easily breachable. He's easy to get to. I mean, the overhead, laser, whatever. But that's if you think about it, if you have a remote control something, that it could run right up on him and blow up. I think that's them. That's a threat.
If you are, look at it from maybe let me make the question a better question, Tom. I want to come back to you. If you are the Department of Homeland Security, you're the head of it. You can't downplay something like this. That's not your job. That's the job of a pundit or a podcast or a TV person to do. You're the Department of Homeland Security, or whatever you want to call the position that's going to be, choose one of them. You see this. what should be our reaction? Should we just be like, whatever, it's not a big deal and move on?
Do you remember when Norman Schwarzkopf would lay out that deck of cards and they had all the Iranian people on the deck of cards?
Iraq most wanted deck of cards, right?
Right,
Iraq.
exactly. You know, if they, my point is, you know, you sense that I was downplaying. Maybe I was a little bit, but my point is these threats get made every day. And if they want to do this, then under the cover of darkness, under the cloak of secrecy, you know, we'll pick a card out of the deck and we'll go pop somebody. That's what I do. You know, once you're there and once you're available and you're in the chair and you can say, this is the way we don't play like this. That's where I go with it. If I'm the director of Homeland Security, I'm like, Mr. President, should we take one of those folks out of that deck of card and take care of something overnight and let somebody do it? Because remember when Trump took the picture of the guy's house out and flopped that out there? Yeah. Those are the moves to make. That's the move.
Well, this guy who they're talking about, Qasem Soleimani, am I saying that correctly, Pat? Thank God, because I know you got mad at me when I...
No, you did the right amount of chach.
Yeah,
you did the right amount of chach.
You got mad at me when I called Khomeini. It was
Adam,
two different people.
You spit on the mic the right amount.
I got
perfect. Yeah, perfect.
So Soleimani...
the guy that was identified by a finger with a ring on it.
But, you know, it's not ironic that almost 5 years later, they're still trying to defend his legacy. But what's his legacy, I guess, is the question. Because, you know, this guy right here... You know, we just talked about Norman Schwarzkopf, whether you want to talk about General Mattis or whether Mick Raven. These are our generals. These aren't household names. In Iran, this is like a superhero to these guys. So, and what was he known for? He led the Quds Force, I want to say. The IRGC.
Is the equivalent of their former Ulysses S. Grant that was eventually a two-term president. That's kind of like...
But he was never the president, right?
No, he was going to be.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So
possibly, yeah.
He was their military commander, head of the Quds Force, which runs the part of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. But, you know, if you just look at his legacy, what did he do? He, number one, whether covertly or quite out in the open, supported militias all over the Middle East to sow discord all over the Middle East and basically allow the Iranian military industrial complex to basically spread their tentacles and go fund all the reasons that the Middle East is basically unstable right now. The Triple H crew, the Hezbollah, the Hamas, the Houthis. He was their patriarch, their founder right there. And his goal was to basically counter U.S. presence in the region, to destabilize the Middle East. Iran, because of him, has become the greatest destabilizing actor in the Middle East since, I don't know, is there anyone that's ever destabilized the Middle East this bad? So he's in Iran, correct me if I'm wrong, he's sort of the symbol of the resistance to the Western presence, you know, whether it's America, whether it's Israel, whether it's democratic values, whether it's the war on the West that our friend Douglas Murray wrote a book about. But yeah, they've killed U.S. forces. He's an enemy of the United States. We should have taken him out. But now they're threatening the president of the United States, Trump.
Yeah, he's their Shea.
With retribution.
You know, all the leftists that come out of communist Central America, they wear the Shea T-shirt. You know, he's their
Che Guevara.
Yeah, he's their Shea. So he's their poster boy for that. But you know what? When you do all this stuff, then you become a poster boy for getting killed.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, you know, if they want to play it like this and they want to do it like this, we can
You're
make
the head of the military. You should probably expect to deal with some of the crossfire.
We can make their Uber rides really exciting.
Well,
so,
I don't know, though. When we say we, who is we? We is only we if he's in the office. You think if they do anything to Trump and Iran takes, let's just say they take Trump out.
Yeah.
And they say we did it as a form of strength around the world. What do you think Kamala and Biden are going to do?
Great point.
So what do you mean we?
Yeah,
That's my concern. My concern with the we is, no, we are not we. This is not a United States of America today. This is not a we. This is a them, us.
Exactly.
And they're not like us. You know, it's that culture we have today, Tom, where for me, if these guys are ever going to do anything to him, if they're ever going to do it. And if I'm a Department of Homeland Security, I'm running something.
Alejandro Mayorkas, who doesn't like Trump.
I'm the guy that's running, if I'm in Iran right now, I would be telling, and I'm wired like the way, let's just say these guys we're thinking now, we know what I'm saying? guys, what are you doing? You got 40 days. You can't do it after 40 days. You know why? Why? If we do it after 40 days and you take him out, no problem. Vance is in there. He will bomb every single city in Iran.
Yep.
So you got 39 days left to take him out. What are we waiting for?
Yep.
So that's my point, because to me, I think this is very serious, because the statement they're making, when you put something like that out there, all you're looking for is for one person to want to be a hero. That's all you're looking for. Mm-hmm. You're not looking for everybody. And then if they do, so okay, let's go through it, Tom. Here's a question for you. If it's not like this is, oh my God, you guys are getting so dramatic. There's been 2 assassination attempts last 90 days. Some will even say 3, but let's put the third one away from what happened in Arizona with the eyes burning and all that other stuff. Let's say 2, okay? Tom, say they succeed in the next 39 days. Who's running against Kamala?
Who would JD?
JD Vance.
Yeah.
But no what happens actually? What actually happens?
God forbid.
Well, you have to have an emergency convention. First of all, if something happens close to the election, a level-headed Congress, which we don't have, could move the election date so that a candidate could be properly presented. Not long, but move it long enough for a candidate to be...
How long? 30 days? 60 days?
30 days, I suppose.
Okay. So let's say 30 days.
But the point is, it is very likely that they would say, sorry about your guy. Vance, are you running? We'll pick your VP. Let's see if we can get all the votes, all the ballots updated, and let's go with this. Because there's already been, the early voting is in, but there's now a guy, you're not voting for that guy anymore. So they got to restart.
Pat, if God forbid he gets killed, Kamala wins landslide.
That's the point.
Period. And that's the goal. That's why they can care less. I'm not saying that they want him dead, but they're not going to cry that he's dead.
There will be no vengeance.
Period.
There will be no vengeance. So this is why
not in that administration.
Hell no, they did them a favor. So they're number one guys out.
It's eerily similar to Jimmy Carter, who wouldn't take stands, wouldn't take a firm stand. But the minute Reagan won, a bunch of things got fixed.
Yeah.
A bunch of things.
Yeah. So the challenge with purely my frustration with this is they just put something like this. What has Homeland Security said? Have they responded to that video made? What's been said about it? And by the way, have they said that video was made by the Iranian government? Who made that video, Rob? Is it some designer made it, some editor made it, or who made that video? Is Iran saying that they made it?
I thought it was released by the Khomeini guy.
Khomeini?
You better pronounce it right, bro.
I'm sorry. From what I heard, I came out from his account.
Intelligence officials have been briefed the Trump campaign on Iranian threats. Look what's I want to know who released the video. I want to know who released Iran trying to assassinate Donald Trump.
It was on Ayatollah's website.
Okay, perfect. And it's from the top. So it's not like if they're retweeting it or if they're putting it on their website, Iranian animation. Okay, perfect. Can we read this, Rob? Can you go a little bit closer? Okay. And depicts assassination down Sherman says a Gulf. Made video from 2022. That can't be 2022 because the post of Grand Ayatollah website is early warning to 2020. Animation opens up in Mar-a-Lago. Okay, go a little lower. Go a little lower, Rob. 78 person per Mar-a-Lago. Go lower. Okay, so go back to the USA Today story from 16 hours ago. Go back one. Yeah, right there. 16 hours ago. Let's see what they're saying here. Iran trying to assassinate Donald Trump, says U.S. leaders. Official says go lower. So Iran has made it clear that it's trying to assassinate Trump as well as a number of administrators and the Biden administration as payback of killing Iran. I think that no one from Biden administration they're trying. The comments after Trump's dramatic disclosure Tuesday night that he had briefed by the Oval Office of Direct National Intelligence about Tehran's real and specific threats. Senator Mike Rounds, RSD, South Dakota, a member of Senate Intelligence, said that he hadn't seen any indication Iran had anything to do with the 2 alleged assassination plots, including one that drew blood out of Pennsylvania campaign. Go lower. How would you know that? But I think there's also clear evidence that Iran has made it clear that they intend to, if they could, they would try to assassinate the former president, and they've talked about assassinating other senior members of leadership. There you go. Okay.
Well, I think it's completely obvious why Iran would want to assassinate Trump. And you might say, well, it's the revenge Soleimani, okay? I think that's part of it, sure, revenge. But also from a geopolitical perspective, just look at the last 40 plus years of who Iran would rather deal with, the Democrats or the Republicans. So it started with Carter in 79, and then Reagan came in and basically said, homie, got the hostages back day one. But if you're looking at Trump and you're looking at Kamala and you're the Ayatollahs and you're the new president, was it Pezeshkian? What do you say his name? The new president of Iran?
Something like that.
Pezeshkian. I can't believe I'm teaching Pat about
God bless
Iran.
you.
Yeah.
No problem. But Iran would love to see Kamala win. You know, just look at what's happened over the last 40 years or even the last 10 years. And the main two reasons are this, is because the Democrats are more predictable and honestly more exploitable. So who gave billions of dollars to Iran for hostages and basically to...
They unfroze the $6 billion.
unfroze all those assets. It was the Democratic Party
Of course,
under
they
Biden.
They love them.
Okay, who was negotiating with Iran during the nuclear deal to put the nuclear deal in place? What administration? The Obama administration. Trump came in, tore it up, said, no, we're not giving these guys any money. And you hear what Trump says, Iran was going broke.
They were.
They were going broke.
They were.
We were putting the sanctions,
Yep.
we're putting the tariffs.
Yep.
And then Biden comes in and they're flush with cash.
Yep.
He's not wrong.
Nope.
Our friend Trump out here. But Obama's out there with Kerry and his crew negotiating the Iranian nuclear deal. But while that's going on, hey, don't look at the hundreds of thousands of dead Syrians that's going on in this. Don't worry about that red line. Don't worry about that. You know, where are the Gays for Gaza Brigade during this? Where are the Hamas lovers protesting? Almost 1 million people dead in Syria. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
So
Nothing to see
And
here.
then lastly, the Democrats are more exploitable and they're more not on Team Israel than the Republican Party is. So if I'm the Ayatollahs and if I'm the new president of Iran, who just spoke at the UN, by the way, I'm looking at the Republican Party, the party of Reagan, the party of Trump, what have you, and I'm looking at the Democratic Party, the party of Carter, the party of Obama, and now Kamala. You're like, if I had to take someone out, it's going to be Trump. Long live Kamala is basically what they're saying.
Let's talk about a couple things with a recent fiction book that I just wrapped up. 13 and a half years I've been working on this book that was just released. The Academy. The other day I'm at Dylan's soccer practice. Guy pulls up. He's like, I'm on chapter 5. I can't even put the book down. I'm in a section with the story. I mean, the part that a lot of people are messaging me is the interview with Hitler in the book that you have to read on what he says on control a society and a country. He gives the strategy on how he did it. He's saying, if somebody wanted to destroy a country today, how would you go about doing it? There's an interview process in a vault at the Academy. That section alone, I just can't. Again, I'm reading all the reviews that people are posting. Some of the people on the review on Amazon are saying, there's no way PBD wrote this book. How could he write a book like this with fiction? His background is a business. You have no idea how big of a compliment that is for me. I appreciate it when you say stuff like that, because the people that have been with me for 13 and a half years know how many times I asked them to read this book. Mm-hmm. How many times, look at Tom smile on his face. Tom, be honest, how many times have I asked you to read this book?
I think you've asked me at least 10 times during various, it's like, I have an idea, take a look at this early draft. Mm-hmm. And it was an outline and 3 great chapters and an outline. And then I read it when it was full. Then you adopted this, you adopted that. It kept evolving like a great product.
It's exciting. I mean, it's exciting when you go through, but here's what it is, guys. Some of you guys were asking about the books being available. Of course, you can buy it on Amazon, but the autographed, signed copies, we have limited amount because we couldn't get that many from our publisher. There's a limited amount of 200 copies signed available for you to pick up. You can go to vtmerch.com. Rob, if you could be kind enough to put the link below, guys will have access to the book, The Academy. Cannot wait to have you read it and send me the reviews.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.